Hello everyone. So today we're going to talk about skincare and a makeup routine. So I'm going to show you everything that I do in the morning, and it's a little embarrassing to say, but my makeup usually takes me about an hour or so, but it's really just something I enjoy doing for myself, and it's really the only thing that I do for myself during the day. So we're going to start with skin prep, and basically, I love to use our SkinScript products. We carry them in the spa, they're affordable, they work well, and they're made in the USA. So they're made in small batches, and when we order them, they're always fresh. So just can't go wrong with them. I'm a little more oily, so I tend to use more gel-based products. So the products that I use are our green tea cleanser, and it just has a really nice, lovely, fresh scent too. After you cleanse, it's really important to use a toner. A lot of people leave this out, but a toner is really nice for balancing your pH. It also stops the cleansing process after you've washed your face. And it smells really good. I spray this in my spa all the time because I just love the smell of it. It's a cucumber toner, by the way. I can't remember if I mentioned that. Next, after I use a toner, I love to use a serum. Vitamin C is definitely where it's at, especially if you have like dark spots or uneven, you want to brighten, or just anti-aging in general. Vitamin C is just wonderful. And eye cream, if you're over 30, I feel like this is a really important step. This also has vitamin C and vitamin E in it as well. We carry this at the spa. And you just put a little tiny bit on your fingers and you just kind of work it around your eyes. And I finish off with a light aloe moisturizer. This seems like a lot of steps, but you go on so quickly, so don't let that intimidate you. At night, I like to use a heavier moisturizer. It just, when we're sleeping, we're repairing, and I just love to have just that extra moisture go into my skin. Even though I am oily, hydration is so important for all skin types. And the most important step is using a separate sunscreen. You don't want to use or rely on sunscreens that are maybe in your foundations or your moisturizers because they just get diluted and they're not as effective. So SkinScript makes a wonderful SPF 30, which is at least what you should be using on your skin. And it also has some zinc in it for extra protection, and it blends in really nicely. So I just wait maybe a minute or so, and then I started with my makeup routine. I like to put my hair back a little bit because my bangs always get in the way. So, I just woke up a little bit ago, so I'm looking a little crazy. One of my kids is up, one of them sleeping on the couch, so you might see a half-clothed little man running around a little bit. My dogs are outside, they'll probably be in and out. It's gonna be a little bit of a crazy video because it's hard doing this at home. So I always start with a primer. I really like this one from Tarte. Again, it's more of a gel base. They do make more cream-based ones for those that are more dry. And one other thing I forgot to mention is a couple times a week, I will use an exfoliant. I really love this one because it has retinol in it also, which is good for anti-aging. You can also use this as a mask. So I take it right into my shower, and after I wash, I'll scrub down with this and leave it on and let it steam like the entire shower and then rinse it off. But that's just really important, especially if you do have dry skin, to add that into your routine, just because it gets off that dead layer and just helps give you more balance. That's the thing with skin issues, as acne, dry skin, oily skin. It's just finding that balance so that your makeup doesn't look like it's separating halfway through the day. So that's why primer is so important. So I like to just get a little bit on my fingers. You're gonna notice that I do things a little different than if I'm doing professional makeup. I tend to do more airbrush when I'm doing professional. And there's a lot of, hygiene guidelines and stuff that you have to follow when you're working on somebody. But this is my own personal makeup, so you're going to see me do things that I wouldn't normally do in my spa. But this is for every day for us to be doing at home. Also, it's really important to remember that makeup is fun. It's for fun. It's to make us feel better about ourselves. My makeup routine is really long, but I just chose to do all of it for you because then you kind of get to know all the different aspects. You can, if you want to learn contouring, you'll at least know how to do that. If eyes are important to you, you'll know how to do that. Maybe that's the one thing you want to do. So just grab the pieces that you want from this and use them for yourself. If you have any questions also, feel free to message me. I'm more than happy to try to guide you through and help you out. I don't claim to be an expert, even though I'm an esthetician. Nobody's an expert at everything. You know, we all just find the things that we enjoy and just are maybe good at a few of those things. So again, take the pieces that you want from this. You don't have to spend an hour on your face. Again, I just like to do this for myself. So primer is the first step, and it's really important because it just smooths everything out. It makes a really nice base for your makeup to sit on and for it not to settle in throughout the day. I have some other tricks for that too. I was noticing that I was getting more like creasing in my eyelids or under my eyes. So I have a trick for that, and I've never had it again. All right, so the next step I like to use a little bit of a concealer. I always use a light color concealer because I feel like you can just blend and cover with that more. Certainly if you're a lot more darker skin tone than me, definitely, you know, get a darker concealer. But for me, I like to use a nice fair one. I just get a really tiny amount of this, and I'll just put a little bit on my eyelids just to get them to be a little more skin colored, I guess, because sometimes they're a little red. And I feel like my eye makeup shows up a little bit better if I try to just even them out a little bit first. Now, I usually use brushes and sponges and stuff on people when I'm doing their makeup professionally, but you're gonna see me using my fingers a lot on myself. All right, after that, I like to just take a little bit of pressed powder. You'll notice that I like a lot of the Tarte products. I kind of mix in a few of these products sometimes, but just kind of a blend of things. I don't really stick to one brand, whatever I find that I like. I'll just take a little bit of this and just put it along my lid. The pressed powder just really kind of seals it on. And because I don't want any creasing during the day, I love Dermablend's setting powder. This is a saving grace for me. I'm so oily and I do get creasy because of that. So this just makes a world of difference. So, and I will show you how to bake with this too, if any of you have heard that term, but that will come a little bit later. So I just take one of my like bigger brushes and I'll just tap a little bit off. Never really blow on your brushes. That's something that I don't do to my own brushes. You certainly can, but you do get your saliva and stuff all over them. It's kind of gross, and brushes they get dirty as it is, so, which mine do need to be cleaned. So I'll just put a little bit of this on top. As you see, it goes on pretty translucent. And that just kind of sets everything in. So my concealer that I just put on is not going to crease the rest of the day. I really love the Naked palettes. This is their newer honey one. I have pretty much all of them. Their cherry one is a really pretty one too, especially if you love warm colors, and I really love that color palette, the heat one too. So I like to get palettes because you get an array of colors. You don't just want to use one or two colors on your lid. You want a little bit of dimension, so that's why that's kind of important. All right. I almost thought I didn't hit record, and I was like, no, but I did. Okay. All right, so I usually start with their lightest color, and I actually like the brushes that come with the Naked palette, so I'll use that quite a bit through this. I'll usually grab just a little bit, actually, I'm grabbing a lot of it, and I'll just tap a little bit off. And then I will put that around my lid. You'll see me looking up a little bit because I have a mirror above me. And that just kind of evens out the background of where you're going to be working to. It just brightens it up. Then your shadow shows up a little bit better too. Then with this palette in particular, I like to take the lightest brown, and again, I just kind of load my brush up. I'll tap a little bit off. And then just kind of take little circles on the outer corner here. And then I just kind of drag a little bit up. Don't like where you have that crease, like just above right there. And of course, do that to both sides. doesn't look like much yet, but hold on. It always looks crazy, I feel like, during the process. And then we're good. All right. And I like to do my eyes first because sometimes I feel like I get some fallout and it gets on my face. So it's just easier to clean up if you do your eyes first and then finish everything else. So you don't have to do it that way though. All right, so after I use my lightest color, I usually go to around here or here. I'm gonna use this one today. And this little end of the brush, just kind of smaller, the bristles are a little more packed in. You can also, I love this one too, but I'll use this one with my darker one probably, which is kind of pointed and packed in. It just gets in the corner really nice. So I'll take that little brush and I'll put a little bit on the end. And then there's kind of like this outer V you have on the corner of your eye. And I feel like this is where it's really nice to put a little extra color and it just adds a little more dimension to your eyes. So I'll take it and I'll just kind of pat it on here. So here's like one side of the V, and then I'll turn my brush and then get more here. And you can kind of just rub it on and just drag a little bit up into your crease. Again, we're going to blend, so don't let that scare you. So I'll just kind of build it on little by little till I get to where I want. And then again, I'll pack the most on here, and I'll kind of just take the excess and just kind of drag it up along my crease right there. And the other side, just that little V. And you can do this with any, color palette. This is just kind of a basic eye, I would say. There are different, dimensional patterns, I guess you could call them, to follow. But this is kind of my everyday. It's just easiest. All right, so you see how kind of like the outer part of my eye is a little bit darker. But I've still got that first light color kind of peeking through behind it, which I want. Before I go and blend that, I do like to take like this kind of flat little brush here and grab my light color again. And I don't really tap this one out because I like it to kind of be packed on. And I like to just put this kind of right under the crease. Don't worry about it looking crazy and messy because you're going to blend the colors in together, but just put it right where, kind of like that little half moon, I guess, area. Sometimes it's fun to pick one of like the sparkly colors, and I like to put it on my finger because it packs it on better, and you can just kind of like tap it across, and then when you're blending, it just kind of blends in really nice. So that's something like if you're going out or something, you can add a little sparkle. And then I take this nice big blendy brush. It's got powder on already because we just used it. So, and then I just kind of gently just kind of go in where that half moon is and just kind of make sure that there's no like harsh lines. And I also take it on the ends where we just did that V and just go in like little circles. Blending is the most important. I feel like if you can blend really well, you really can't mess this up. Because as long as there's no like harsh lines where your colors start and end, it's going to be really nice. So just kind of blend, blend, blend. You can pull it out a little bit, let the color kind of blend outwards, kind of go across here. You really can't do too much. It's pretty foolproof. And just go along your crease. Trying to make it so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So this would be enough and okay for every day. I'm a little extra, so I'll add a little bit more in a minute. But you could just kind of finish here. So I would go back to that light brown color, and I put a little bit on my brush, and I would just kind of go right above where I was blending in the crease, and just put a little bit of that up there. It's really light, so it's not harsh. You're not gonna look like Mimi or anything. So just kind of get in there. And also when you're doing this, it's kind of still blending into that color, so it's not going to make like a stripe or a harsh effect. So I'm still basically blending, but I'm using a color. Then I like to use a smaller brush, like this. If you don't have all these brushes, just improvise. It's okay. I don't like those little applicators that come with eyeshadows you get in the drugstores. They go on really harsh. So brushes are really nice. If you can even get a cheap thing of brushes. I am not a brush snob. This Naked brush is probably the nicest brush that I have in my personal pack. All my expensive ones are in my work kit, but hey, it works. So these are just brushes I've collected through Ipsy bags or ones that I've just picked up here and there over the years. So when they wear out, they're gone. But all right, so at the end, I like to just take a little bit of that light color just to highlight under my brow a little bit, and then just kind of get the excess off, and then just go really gently, just right under your brows, just a little bit, and it just brightens it up and kind of lifts your eyes a little bit. And I also like to take a little bit of that same color and just go right on the insides. Again, it just brightens you a little. It's all about brightening. All right, so, and I just like to keep blending with that little color. Okay. I like to go in with one more darker color. I just like to step it up just a little bit more. But again, this is a good everyday, simple, neutral look. You can either use the little end that we used for the outer V before. If you want to pack in a little more, you can get like a little more of a pointy little brush like this. This brush is really old. It's showing its age. I like to use the darkest color here. And so I'll just put my little brush in there. And I will go again around that outer V and just tap a little bit of that color in and just drag a little bit up. And then it just gives you just one more layer of dimension that I just love so much. I feel like if you're going to do anything just a little extra on your face, eye makeup's where it's at. It's just so fun. And you can definitely stop here. You don't have to do the liner and all that I'm going to show you either. It's definitely not necessary. Okay, so I like to just drag, like I said, just pack the most here, and then just take the excess and just drag it along. Don't go too fast, because if you do, then the bristles, like if you're painting a wall and you accidentally flick the brush up, the paint just splatters against the wall. So it'll kind of just like spray across your face, the powder, and then you have kind of a line. You can fix it, but it's just easier. Just go kind of slow and just kind of drag it over. And then we don't get too much over there either. But you have that just nice little, like it just adds a little bit more. And then you take your fluffy side again, and you guessed it, you blend. Just little circles, and the closer you hold your brush to the bristles, the more control you have. So if you don't want to blend too much, you can hold it out here. But I'm a control freak, so here I am. And a control freak in the best possible way, unless you ask my husband. Okay, so right in the crease. Just like it to. See, it's just so easy. If as long as you're blending, that's the secret. That's what makes it not look scary. See, I used a dark color, but it's not too terrible. And you know, sometimes if I'm going out, I'll step it out even more, but this is good. All right, so there's eyeshadow, pretty simple. After my eyeshadow, I like to put on my eyeliner. Okay, so eyeliner's pretty easy. I like to just kind of, it's not good for your eye, but I do it for myself. I just kind of stretch really gently, just so it's easier to go on, because the more taut your eye is, the straighter the line's gonna look. So just kind of gently pull and close, and then just kind of work it along your lash line really lightly. This one goes on like liquid. It's a pencil, but man, it's easy to make a mess of. I was trying to find my other one, but this was the only one that would jump out at me in my makeup bag, and it's a mess. So this is the one I'm using today. This is Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil. It's really pigmented. It's actually really nice eyeliner. I I just didn't want to mess up my video today. So, but we're going to use this one. All right. So yeah, just go really light-handed, just little tiny. See how I'm just kind of brushing it on? That way you can build on top of it and we don't just wipe it off and start over, because that's so frustrating. All right. I like to go all the way across. Again, there's no right or wrong way. If you only like to go halfway across, that's cool. I like to get my wet line. You do not have to do this. I just like the dark look. I have dark eyes and dark lashes, so I just think it looks nice. But even if you're a blondie, I think it looks nice on you too. You might prefer a brown over a black, so it's not so dark, but it's just personal preference. So I go along my wet line, and then I like to go, how dare someone call me while I'm doing a makeup tutorial, really? Okay, so I put myself on airplane mode, so hopefully that won't happen again. All right, so again, eyeliner. Sometimes when I'm feeling crazy, I will go across the whole way and maybe connect them. Not often, but you just kind of gently, again, just kind of make sure your skin is taut, and I just kind of gently go right into where the lashes are and just get a little bit in there. Just to give it a little something. It makes your lashes look thicker too. If you don't have to do a nice thick line. I mean, thick's okay if that's what you like, but I like to do just a nice thin one. Again, just kind of like a little taut, and just get right in there. Hopefully you guys can see me. I'm looking in two different places. All right, so that's what I do with this part of my eyeliner. Now, if you like a wing, which I'm a wing girl, I actually love to use paper tape to make a nice straight line. I actually got kicked off of a professional makeup site for sharing my tip before because it just wasn't professional. Okay, so whatever, those are not my people. Whatever works and whatever gets you the end result that you want is fine, in my opinion. I use this on skin for my lash clients. It's safe for your skin. It's not going to hurt you. So I don't know what they're talking about. I know what I'm talking about though. Okay, so I just grab a little piece of my paper tape. You do not have to do this. You can also use a liquid pen, and sometimes if you just kind of start with the point and then just kind of turn your hand, it's a little tricky, but you just kind of, you can get a taper that way, but this is a lot easier. So I take a little piece of my tape and then I just put it just under my lashes on the bottom and angle it upward towards my brow. Press it on. Looking crazy, but that's okay. And then same on the other side, because you don't want one wing, or maybe you do, I don't know. Okay, kind of make sure they're evenish. One of my eyes is different shape than the other, so I always have more problem, especially putting on fake lashes with this eye versus this eye. I don't know why. None of us are symmetrical, I guess. I guess that's why, and that's okay. All right, so I got my tape on. And you can, again, either use, and this is Tarte also, a pen, which is really nice. It goes on super slick. Or I really love Tarte's, it's like a clay paint liner is what it's called. And it comes with this little brush, which I almost dropped. Okay, so I take a little bit, and this is nice because it has like a little well on the top, so you just kind of squirt a little bit to the top and then it just sits there for you to work out of, which is kind of nice. So you don't need much, just a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. And you take your little brush and you just grab a little bit. I just kind of wipe both sides so that I know both sides are kind of coated and that it's nice and kind of flat on the end. You can see that. And you take your little brush and then you just kind of, can you see me? Go right along that line. Again, and kind of holding your eye and the tape taut so it doesn't come up. And you just make a little triangle on the end. Can you see that? There's not too much glare here. Okay. All right, so I'll do that to both sides. Again, just wiping both sides of the brush with some of the black liner, and then going over. Just follow that tape. I have a harder time. My vision's worse in this eye, even with contacts. My contacts work together, so when I have one eye closed, my vision gets a little bit blurry out of this eye, especially my left eye. All right. So there's a little wingy ding there. I think this one might be a little bit longer than that one, so I'll try to fix that. I had some nice sunshine coming in this window, but now it's getting gross and dark outside. So the color of my video might be changing, and I apologize. I'll try to keep it good for you guys. All right. You do not have to do a long wing. I just really like makeup. So, you just kind of can peel your tape back and you have a little wing. And it's just kind of fun. Now, sometimes they're not perfect when I take the tape off and I can adjust them. I love having a baby wipe with me while I'm doing my makeup because it just kind of fixes mistakes and keep my hands clean and stuff. But if it's a little too thick in one area, you can just kind of take your fingernail and just gently clean along. Make sure that line is nice and sharp. And then sometimes if I use my clay paint and there's an area that I just want to touch up real quick, I'll just take my little felt pen one and just kind of fill in the area or whatever. But like this one's a little thicker. Okay. So after that, I'm done my eyes. I did a little slower because I'm teaching right now, but it actually goes pretty quick when I'm doing it. And after you practice a bit, it will for you too. So after I do eyes, I like to do my foundation. I prefer a BB cream. It goes on more like moisturizer and it's light. And I find even if you want more full coverage, the powder is really where you get that from. So my thing that I hate is trying to pick a color for my skin. So what I always do is buy two colors. So this one is light. It's Tarte's Amazonian Clay BB Tinted Moisturizer is what they call it. This one is the color light and this one is the color medium tan. So no matter what, throughout the year, if I'm spray tanned, maybe in the middle of the winter, I can use my medium tan, I'll be okay. If I'm as pale as can be right now, I can use just my light and be okay. But sometimes I mix a little bit of this in anyways, just because I don't like a ghost. So I'm gonna put just a tiny dot of this darker one. And then I'm gonna put, again, I'm using my fingers. I need to get more of this apparently. Some more of my light. This stuff goes a long ways. That might actually even be a little too much. So it's important not to just stop at your jawline, because you've all seen those ladies that you can tell they put a ton of makeup on that day, but their face is like nice and tan here and then it's white. So we don't want that. I actually carry my makeup white right down onto my neck every day. So it'll blend really nicely. So I have about this much. Again, you don't really need this much. So I'll just kind of mix them up because I did use 2 colors. And then, just blend that some more. Okay, I take my finger and I dot it kind of around my face. Just kind of, there's no science to it, just do it. I'm a little broken out now too. I've been out of work for 2 months now. I can't open my business till July. So luckily we're doing okay. But it's just knowing that I'm not working right now, and my business is just sitting there. Like my beautiful spa is just sitting empty. It's depressing, but I'm doing okay. So thank you to all who have reached out. That means so much to me. So I'm doing things like this to keep me busy. All right, I use my fingers. I just feel like it's moisturizer. It spreads it out really nice. You can use a fancy brush if you want to. This is like a $50 brush that I didn't need to buy, but it did. So I just kind of blend it around with my fingers. So quick and easy. Again, down onto your neck. And it feels nice too. It's just like a nice moisturizer. Especially for you dry ladies. You might like this better. All right. So once I feel like I've gotten it blended in pretty well, I'll use my baby wipe to wipe my hands up. They come in handy. How many of you have kids that are older and aren't babies anymore, but you still buy baby wipes? I'll never stop. Like these things are just, they're amazing. I always have them, always. But I'm not a hoarder. I didn't go out and buy 20 packs of them when the toilet paper was flying off the shelves. Like I have like 2 packages that I bought before the whole virus thing started, and yeah, so there's that. All right, so I love the little blendy buds here, and I actually like to use them with a little bit of moisture on them. So I'll take my baby wipe again, and I'll just kind of press it on there, and it just helps kind of make sure everything's blended in. You can just kind of tap. Don't pull too much because then you do kind of pull the makeup off, but just kind of tap it around, make sure that there's no like streaky lines or anything. I pretty well think I had it blended though, but just extra insurance. You don't even have to do this. All right. Especially around your nose, it can really kind of catch in here. So do make sure you get it blended around there. Okay. After that, I do foundation first because if you do concealer first, it's just gonna get wiped away when you're putting your foundation on. So reverse it. I use, again, a light concealer. I can use the same one that I was using before. That's totally fine. I just really like this one. It's by Cover FX. It's called Power Play, and this is in the color Light. It says G Light. I think there's a few different lights. So, anyways, okay, I'm gonna use the applicator right on my face because it's mine. But I just kind of make like a little line under my eyes. We want to get rid of those dark circles. We all have them to an extent, unless you're like 14. And then I just kind of drag a little bit down. Kind of makes like a little V under your eyes. You don't have to make a specific shape, but it just kind of looks like to me. I look like a clown right now. I also put a little bit on my chin because I kind of highlight with it too. Put a little tiny line down my nose, and then I'll make like a couple little stripes on my forehead. And I'll leave them there. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, use my little blendy again. And I like to press some moisture into it because it just makes it spread much easier. And then I will use tapping. So I'll tap right around. And I'm talking funny because I'm tapping my mouth right now. Okay. And then if you kind of notice like where you can see where it's obviously like a little line, you can kind of just gently push and spread, and then it just blends it right out. These things are great. All right. And then you're gonna tap right up the middle of your nose and then around the middle of your forehead. And this just kind of draws the light to the center of your face and just brightens you up. Again, you don't have to do this step. I just love all the steps, so here it is. All right. So once you get that in, now you can get the fancy highlighting kits. They have all the white, like the lighter colors, but concealer works perfect for me. It's already in my makeup bag. I don't have to buy something separate. All right, so then under the eyes, I like the ones that are a little pointed because you can kind of get right up under the eyes with them. But if you don't have that, that's okay. Just at the end, if you feel like you need to kind of drag your finger just to make sure it's blended in, that's fine. Just do it gently. All right, so I get right in there. And there's, sometimes you kind of get into your eye pencil that you put under there a little bit, but it's totally fine. We can fix that if it happens. So just kind of, again, just we're pressing and going around and blending it. So that way I'm not rubbing it off because there's just no point in doing it if you don't. So all of these makeup products, you can find on Sephora or Ulta. I'm obviously not a spokesperson for any of them. I'm not telling you to go buy these certain products, not promoting them in any way. The only ones that I would promote are just my SkinScript products because I do sell them and I do love them. But your makeup, your choice, for sure. Whatever works for you. If you want to go to the drugstore and get some, hey, that's fine. If it works for you, that's great. You don't have to get the expensive makeup. You can do this with anything. I just like some of the more expensive ones because they're more pigmented. They stay on better. They don't have so many fillers in them most of the time. So sometimes they're just better for you. I mean, makeup does have chemicals in it. Let's be real. But they do last better. My kids are up. They're talking. It's on the back of the couch, Cameron. All right, so keep blending. So I might have to pause this video and take a few takes to get this finished with my kids now being up, but that's okay. You'll still get everything, I promise. Okay, so once that's all blended in, dark circles, they're just a nightmare for most of us. This product, and I told you I'm not a spokesperson, but I love this product. It's by Becca, and it's basically a brightening corrector. So it's like a peachy color. The color that I love is their light to medium. Again, you can get this on Sephora, maybe Ulta too. I'm sure they carry the same things. I've mostly shopped at Sephora, but they're both great. So I'm not promoting either one. Get your makeup where you get your makeup. Anyways, it's a nice peachy color, and peachy tones tend to correct dark tones. So I'll put a little bit on my finger. You don't need very much. And then just tap it in where that hollow is, where the darkness is, just a little bit on each eye. Okay. And then, I mean, and one of these lasts forever because you don't need much at all. So if there's something that you're missing on your makeup kit and you hate dark circles, Becca brightening corrector. Need it. Need it, love it, gotta have it. All right, so again, my Blendy Buddy, and I just tap that in on top. And then sometimes it still looks a little pink on my skin, so I want to kind of lighten it up with my concealer. So I'll just take a little bit of my concealer that I was using before, the light color, and you don't need much, just put a little bit and tap that over the top. That just kind of corrects that color so it doesn't look pink. That's just on my skin tone. It might not be on yours, but that's just what works for me. So just tap that in. Again, guys, I do spend a lot of time on makeup in the morning. It's not usually this low, but I'm trying to kind of make sure you see all the steps and try not to confuse anybody. All right, and at this step, once I get this all blended in, like I said, I've been stressed lately. I do have some breakouts this week. So at this step, I'll take a little bit of my concealer and I'll just put a little bit. You don't need much. Like, it's really, really small amount. Like, I have a little something. Where is it? It's pretty well covered with my BB cream, but there's like a little something right there. And I'll just tap a little bit on. And it's okay if it looks a little brighter than your skin because you're gonna blend everything in when you put your powder on the top to set everything. So it just kind of makes that redness go away. And I've got a couple red marks over here, so I'm just gonna cover those in as best I can. And you know, I used to obsess over every spot being covered so perfectly. You know, none of us are perfect, so if I can just kind of blur them out a little bit, I'm happy. If they're showing a little bit, that's okay. I'm fine with that. Okay, so I had more than I thought I did, but that's okay. It has been a stressful couple months, but my family's healthy. I'm able to help my kids homeschool. I have 2 kids in the special education program, if any of you didn't know that. So they'd never be able to get through it on their own like my freshman can. He just kind of sits down, does his work, emails his teachers if he needs help. So that's helpful. I have one that can do that, but my other 2, we post up at our table for about 3.5 hours every day, and I go back and forth between the 2, but their teachers are phenomenal too. Like, they've just been angels. But we've actually been having fun with it. So I'm actually, you know, I'm looking forward to school ending because we do get up, we can't sleep in. but I do love it. I'm gonna miss this someday, so we won't ever take it for granted. All right, just making sure I don't have any creases. And I like to, when all of my concealer, I'm losing my words, concealer is on, I will then just take my pressed powder. It's Tarte. Again, this one is light. I do sometimes buy a medium one too, like in the summer when I'm a little darker, I'll use that like on different parts of my skin. But I'll typically always use light on the center of my face because I want the center of my face to be a little lighter because it brightens you up. I like the little guys that come in these. If I'm using it professionally, I don't ever use these on my clients because that's dirty, but I'm using it on myself. So I just put a little bit on my little sponge and I'll just kind of gently just rub under my eyes just to make sure there's no creasing before I dust this stuff on. So I'll kind of just like, especially where I put it on a little more heavy right here, I don't want it to settle into my pores, so I'll just kind of gently slide along there and just press a little bit in there because I do have larger pores because I'm oily. So that's my issue. So just gently just kind of buff it in there over the areas that I know that it can settle. I get a little crease here sometimes too with my chin. I don't know if any of you do, but so I just kind of gently just kind of go along there. Okay, so once that is on, I just take a big fluffy brush. I love these because they're nice and soft. And I'll just put a little just light layer over what I just did. Again, your powder, I find especially the pressed powders, but sometimes the loose ones too, are really where the full coverage is at. So like if you have a red mark and you put powder over it and dust it, I mean, it really hides things. And it stays all day. So I'll just kind of just gently just dust a little bit of that around just to help set. Now, if you've heard of baking before, that is that white powder, that setting powder I showed you in the beginning. I like to use that after my powder is on. And I'm gonna look crazy. I'm gonna look like I stuck my face in, powder to flour or whatever to bake cookies with. Anyways, I'm gonna get sidetracked. I take the little, it comes with these little pad things here, and I just put a generous amount on there. It's gonna get messy, it's okay. I just kind of press it, tap it right along my chin, my nose, my forehead, because I get oily in all those places, and then right under my eyes and down the sides of my nose. Because I feel like, because you can really get creased in there. So just kind of press it in there. Looking good. Looking good. All right. So I let this sit for at least 5 minutes. It's called baking, and basically what that means is it's taking your concealer and the heat of your skin, and it's basically kind of baking onto your skin, not absorbing into your skin pores. Like everything that we're using is non-comedogenic or whatever, so it's not going to go into your pores and break you out, but it's just basically putting a nice seal on things, so it's not running everywhere all day long. So while that's happening, I'm a multitasker. I like to do my brows while that's going on. So I'll just kind of, again, just take my little baby wipe, and if any of that powder got on my brows, I just kind of gently wipe it away. And sometimes if it's a little too close, I'll just kind of wipe it away from my brows, just a little bit, just so it doesn't get in there. All right, so for brows, I have a couple things to show you. First, I like to give them a good brush. Now mine are microbladed with permanent makeup. They already have a pretty good shape. I am gonna make them darker next time I touch them up, but I really can just follow those lines and have them filled in pretty quickly. If you're starting from scratch, I have another product that you're probably gonna love. So, I'm gonna show you my way first that I usually do. So this is a Sephora brow kit. It's called Brow Editor. This is in the dark brown, and it comes with 2 different colors. It has like a really awesome eyebrow wax, not the kind that you take hair off with, but it's like a finisher, and it makes them look just amazing when they're done. Of course, it's all gone because I love it so much, but I have another product I'll put on there. So what I do is, it's really important to have a nice pointy brush. I got this one from Sephora. It was like $18, I think, but they last forever if you take care of them. This one actually came with like a little case, so it protects the bristles when it's in my bag. So I just make sure I kind of wipe it off gently after I use it every time too, and then just store it so that the bristles are nice and sharp. So take your darkest color and just tap some color on. And then I just follow my natural line underneath with that color. Oops, I'm trying to make it so you guys can see, sorry. Oh, here comes Max. Max, I'm making a video, so you might not want to show everyone your underwear. Are you... Okay, go back to the couch or something.
Where's Cameron?
I think he's in your room.
I don't see him in my room.
Maybe he went downstairs. I'm not sure. Okay, and then I take the same color, and I kind of follow the line just lightly along the top of my brow. Just to outline it. And I'm just doing really light like strokes with my brush, just to pack a little bit of color in. Because again, makeup is buildable. Start with a little, add a little bit more. That way you just don't go overboard. And again, if you get a little bit too much above there, baby wipes. Just put, and just kind of gently just clean off that little extra line that I didn't mean to put on there. All right, so. Okay, so I'm just filling in what I already have, basically. You don't have to be that precise. Like, you don't have to do the lines across the top or the bottom. You can just basically, if you have a nice line to already follow or a nice brow, then you can just fill them in like this. You just take the powder and you just drag it through your brow. It's really, really simple. I like a more like ombre effect in the front. I like the fronts to be a little bit lighter. So I tend to use the lighter color when I get closer to the front. I kind of pack the color in from the body of the tails because I like them to be nice and dark. But then when I get to the front, I will lighten up my hand on my brows and use the lighter color. You'll hear some weird sounds from my background. Okay, so then my lighter color, I'll just kind of go in and I just kind of start, see how I kind of drew a line where my brow started? I just kind of take it and I just drag it up. And then just blend it back a little bit. Again, blending, it's not hard. Just take some on your brush. Again, on that little line I started, just drag. And then just make sure they're even enough. Again, none of us are perfect. As long as your brows aren't touching, unless you like that look, then you're good. Who knows, the unibrow might come back into style. Was it ever in style though? All right, so I think I'll be happy enough with these. Sometimes I spend a little too much time on my brows because I don't know why, honestly. They really are that easy. But I did just touch them up with microblading and gosh, that makes a world of difference. Like I don't have to put makeup in them, but again, I'm extra, so I just put a little bit of darkness to them. But if you come see me, I can give you that perfect stencil or brow that you don't have to do anything to. Just a little shameless plug there. Okay, so that's brows. After that, I'll just kind of brush through them just because if there is like a little line underneath, it just kind of blends it up in there. So you don't have like a harsh line drawn under your brows. And it just kind of blends all the powder in, just so you don't have any lines again. All right. You can use something finishing, like I said, that product had a nice wax with it. It's gone, but it makes all the like hairs not stand up or stand out, but it just makes it look really defined, I guess, polished. Benefit also makes a nice brow line, and this is like a brow gel, and it helps them stay in place too. It's clear, but you can just kind of gently brush that along your hairs when you're done, and it gives it pretty much the same effect. It's hard to see in this light and with this camera, but they look good. Good enough, at least. Okay. If you have no brows and you have a hard time drawing brows, a lot of you have seen I've been selling these amazing magnetic lashes, and I'm going to show you those too at the end, because I feel like lashes are the frosting on a cake. Like, they just make such a difference. If you just leave the house with nice brows and lashes, maybe a little blush, you don't even have to, it's such a difference. It just makes you feel good. It's just a little something, but it really just opens your eyes up. But anyways, I'm gonna show you those later. This company also makes a wonderful product called The Works. It's a brow and kit liner, and it comes with, for those of you that have a hard time drawing brows, it comes with these little stencils. There's 3 shapes. I did try this one because it's bigger. I like my brows a little bit bigger. But it does come with more of like a medium size and a little teeny weeny one for those of you with tiny faces and little brows. Very cute. All right, so even though I don't need to use stencils, I did try these out and they're really cool. My brows, they ended up just like this. So this one is the fairy one, it's the biggest one. Now, The biggest thing with these is making sure that you're using them correctly. You don't just slap the thing on your face and fill it in. That will be crazy. I'll also show you that it comes with a brush to put the gel line with, and it also has like a little tiny brush you can brush to your brows with on the end. And this can also be used as eyeliner too. It's a gel. It's actually really nice. This is dark brown. You see I've used it a couple times. It's wonderful. And basically, when you use this with these stencils, what you do is line it up for where the head of your brow should be, just the front part, and you hold it on, dip it in your gel with your little brush. I'm gonna try to do it so you can see. Kind of hold it on, and then I just kind of press, and don't load it on your brush and then draw a line, because then you'll have like a black line across your face. Just take some on and dab it on, and then just kind of gently, after you have it all dabbed on, just gently kind of pull it through your brows. Like I showed you with your eyes, just dragging it after you get most of it on. Okay, so do that to about the arch part, and then you take the stencil off and you turn it and you line it up to where your arch should be. So see, like if I put this on my eye, see how it doesn't match up with my natural tail? So I have to turn it, and I actually kind of pull the tail up a little bit, because you don't want, and I hate when I see this, but again, it's personal preference, so I don't judge. I do brows for a living, so I look, okay? But you don't want your tail going below your corner of your eye. It drags them down, it ages you. If you lift your tail, like I like to do that for a lot of ladies that come in to see me when I do their permanent makeup on their brows, we'll make sure the tail has a nice lift to it. That way it doesn't drag your eye down over time, especially right when we're aging and our tattoos stay forever. So you just kind of make it so that it's more youthful. So again, you just take this off after you finish the front, and you just turn it to the angle that your brow goes. And for some people it might work that it all is one, especially if you have nothing there and you like that shape, perfect. But for most of us, we're going to have to take it off and adjust it. And it's so easy. You just take it off, put it where you want it, hold it in place, and fill it in. And that's it. When you're done, again, I just like to take my brush and brush through just to make sure it's not clumpy or it isn't clumpy, but just make sure if you got it into one area a little more heavy than another, it kind of just spreads it out and makes it look nice. And again, I like the ombre look, so I will fill in from like here back first, and then just tap what's ever left on the end of my brush into that front so that it comes out lighter. Again, personal preference. If you like it all the solid color, that's beautiful too, so do it. So these kits are fantastic. I do have them on our website, KaylonSpaServices.com, and if you click on shop our products, or if you just go to KaylonSpaServices.com/products, it brings you right to the products. But these come in 4 different colors. So there's a taupey one for like our really light hair colored friends. The brown is nice for like if you're a redhead or have lighter color than me for brown hair. Dark brown for girls like me, and they have black for those who have really dark hair or want to use it as a dark liner. But it's nice that it's 2 in 1, so you definitely can use that brush and draw along your liner line with it. And I think those are only like 36, but they'll last you forever. Again, they're so pigmented, you don't need very much. So, and it's nice because it comes with that brush, it comes with those stencils, and it comes with the makeup. And you can actually, if you want to refill on just the makeup later, you can get just the makeup later for cheaper. So, there's that. Brows. This has been sitting definitely longer for 5 minutes. I just spit, sorry. Okay, but before I just clean that off, again, this goes faster for me when I'm doing it on my own, but I like to take this little, it's a little thicker, it's a lot thicker than the brush I was just using in my brows, and I just get it a little wet, and I put it in my lightest color because I want it to be a little more packed in. You can use this you can do that trick too for if you don't have eyeliner available. You can wet a brush and put it in like a black shadow, and you can make kind of an eyeliner from that too if you're in a pinch. I've done that plenty of times. I go right under my brow with that, just to kind of highlight it. You don't have to do this, but I just do that just to make it stand out a little more, and just to, again, just give my eyes a little lift. I'll flip it over to the floofy side, and again, blending. Blending is everything. Just make sure there's not a harsh white line there. That's another thing I can't get behind. And if it's your style, that's cool. I'm not gonna judge you. I do not like just plain white eyeshadow. It just washes your eyes out. Like, give it a little bit of color, just a little bit. Just in the corners at least. I wanna see the pretty face. It's pretty eyes. Okay, so I take my big floofy brush and I will clean off the excess. See, it's translucent, so it doesn't leave you looking all ghost-like. It just really sets everything in. Like, everything is so smooth on here right now. It also brightens a little bit too, because it is kind of a more whitish translucent color when it goes on. So it's nice and brightening. They do make that brand in like a skin tone color too, but I prefer the white. I just haven't tried the brown, I guess. All right, so check out my dogs. All right, I'm back. I had to chase Charlie around the yard. Came inside though. All right, Charlie's my little French bulldog, for those of you that don't know, but I know a lot of you do know him. Okay, so I just cleaned off my setting powder, and now I am going to do some contouring. Contouring is super easy. It intimidates a lot of people, but it's super easy. My kids are yelling in the background, I apologize. This one is by Huda Beauty. Mom is filtering out what that means. Okay, so I have used a lot of this. This is the color Fair. I know it looks dark, but you use it on fairer tones, I guess, so it doesn't look too stark and too scary. I just grab a couple brushes to do like around my nose. This one's a little more pointed and a little more packed, so I can kind of get like a line along the sides of my nose. And I use like a floofier brush. Again, you can reuse some of the brushes that we've already used, you know, but I just don't like to clean all the product out of some of these, so I separate them. But anyways, I pat them in. Hold on. All right. You see Charlie? He's peeking at you. I'm back again. My kids are still arguing. This is gonna be a lot of fun. All right, so we're going to tap a little bit of this on the end of our brush, and I just like to, let me see if I can adjust this. Put a little kind of stripe down the side of my nose. I don't mind my nose, but if you want to thin your nose out at all, this helps. So you just kind of go down along the side, and then we go underneath. And I apologize, I might have to mute this video for a few minutes when I edit it, because my kids will not stop arguing over a phone. All right, so down the sides of my nose, underneath my nose, and kind of on the sides. I look really silly right now, I know. I put a little bit here. We're just kind of highlighting our areas on our face. You guys need to quiet down. And then we take our blendy brush and we just kind of blend along. All right, and then just kind of along our nose. That way we don't have those crazy harsh lines, but I like to use these smaller brushes around my nose because it just gets in there. It's a little more precise. You can certainly use a floofier, bigger brush. That's totally okay. I can hear a scream welling up in there. I know it's gonna happen. This is really stressful. Okay, so do this. Again, this blend, blend, blend till you have no lines, so that, there we go. Okay. All right, now we are going to, I just have this, I used to sell Unique way back in the day. This brush is getting ratty. You can see that the bristles are coming out, but I really love it because it has like a nice flat side. So again, you can even take like a smaller brush, like a blush brush, and squeeze it and make that flat line and just use it that way. but this one's already there for me. So I just take a little bit on the end of that brush, and then you kind of draw a little line underneath where your cheekbone is there. Like from ear, like above like ear to like about this close. I did not mean to flip my finger at you. I'm so sorry. Okay, so same on the other side. And then, okay, there's there.
Where did you put it?
All right, pause. Let's try this again. All right, so I have the two lines underneath my cheekbones. I also take a little bit and I go around the frame of my face. So I'll put a line here, and it looks crazy, but we're gonna blend it. This is like the easiest way to contour. Everyone's shape is different. This one works for me, but I feel like this will work for most people. So like if you have a really high forehead, like I have a higher forehead, not extremely high, but it's higher. I drag my color down my forehead a little bit more like this. If you have a short forehead, you're only gonna wanna keep it up towards your hairline a lot closer because you don't wanna shorten it even more. But this kind of shortens it for me a little bit, just closes it in a little bit to that highlight in the center of my face.
Hey, come back.
All right, so then I take a little bit and I go along my jawline. I know I just told you not to make a line on your jawline with your makeup, but here I am doing it, but hold on. And then I take my bristles. After I get that line there, I take it and I drag the color down like this. That way it blends down to my neck. That way I don't get that line. Okay, so now, Cameron, you don't need to get dressed. We're not going anywhere today. I just told you that 5 minutes ago.
No, I was just gonna go outside.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, all right. So
No,
then go down
No.
here.
you are not going outside with your phone.
Please hold.
You are.
We will get through this. Okay, so I have blended this down to my neck. Sometimes if I'm going somewhere in a pretty dress or something and I want my collarbones to show a little more, you can definitely go around those too with a little bit of color, and it just makes them stand out a little bit more. And you just kind of blend those in too. This is a little extra thing. I don't do that every day, but I can. All right, so after I have all my crazy contour lines on, I look like a tiger. I take my big blendy brush and then I just take big circles and then just blend it all in. Blend it in really well. That way you don't have that line of demarcation or whatnot where it ended and where you started. I even kind of bring it over to my ear a little bit because I don't need bright white ears and then a nice contour size of my face. So just take your brush, just keep blending the line under your cheek. I just kind of blend back and forth in big ovals, and kind of like, if I'm gonna push it anywhere, I push it up because my blush can kind of blend in with that. You don't want to push it down because then it kind of mixes in with this line. So just kind of upward strokes that are blending, if that makes sense. All right, and I'll go around a couple times because I just want to make sure that it's not looking at all crazy around any of those areas. And another thing you can use to contour with, if you don't have contour cream, which you don't have to have, use a bronzer. If you have a bronzer on hand, just dust some of that around those areas and then just kind of blend it in with your brush. Good to go. So easy. You know, again, I do makeup for a living sometimes. I mean, I have other services I definitely do more, but when I do makeup professionally, I have these, you know, fancy products, and I have them at home in my kit because I like to try them before I use them on other people. So, but I definitely have used bronzer with good results doing this too. So get really good along that jawline and really drag it down onto your neck so that you don't have that crazy line. And sometimes too, if my face comes out looking a little darker and my neck is still a little bit on the light side, I will use a pressed powder. Like I said, I have a medium, like the light one that I was using earlier. And just take a little bit of that with your big brush and just use a little bit of that on your neck. And that'll just blend everything right in really well. It's just easy, not hard. I'm back again. Okay. All right. I got one of them to go outside, so that was cool. All right. So we're finishing just blending all this in. But see how the middle of my face is kind of nice and bright and it just kind of draws. Yeah. I like that look. If you don't like this look, that's okay. You don't have to do this. I love it. Okay. We're almost done. Thank God, right? Okay. So after I get my contour on and make sure my neck's the same color as my face, this is Tarte again. It's a blush. This one was some Christmas special they had. It had like a fun little highlighter color and a couple different blush colors in it. But anyways, take your blush brush. You can load it on because we're gonna blend. We're not gonna look crazy. It's gonna look crazy right now, but load it on. Put it on the apple of your cheek in little circles, and then kind of drag it up to your hairline. Again, this time. Sometimes I smile and I can kind of see my cheek a little better. And then drag it up to your hairline again. All right. All right. It looks really bright right now, I know. Okay. But I just want to make sure it's like, it's not any empty spots. Like sometimes you'll see, it's just not even. So if you pack it in and then blend it out, it'll be even. Take my big brush, I love this brush, and then just, again, big circles across your blush from your apple of your cheek back to your hairline. And do that just 2 or 3 times. And that really lightens the color up and blends it out so it doesn't look crazy, right? All right. And then something you can add at the end is a highlighter. I just showed you one in this little compact too. This one is by Becca, and I do love that makeup brand. This one is Champagne Pop. It's really pretty. I just take my finger and I put some down the center of my nose. I love to put some on the upper lip there. You're just kind of highlighting areas where the sun would hit you. And I put some on the top of my cheekbone, here above my blush. Okay, so right now there's stripes, right? Good old blendy brush. All right, so just take this, buff it in, and it just gives you a nice little sun-kissed look. Just highlights again those areas that the sun hits in your face. Okay, so there's that. And let's see, I think we're pretty much done. We just need to do lashes. So whether I'm doing, whether I am doing fake lashes or not, I always like to curl my lashes anyways, just because mine are pretty long. And guys, I get these lashes from using our Grande serum. Like, it's amazing. It basically does what Latisse does, but without the prescription, without the cost, and it doesn't turn your skin around your eyes orange like a lot of times Latisse does with people. It's wonderful. I do have a few of those in stock, and I am shipping those out if anyone's interested. I cannot keep that on my shelf, so I have ordered some, and I did get some more in a couple weeks ago. But yeah, look at that length. It's crazy. But my lashes are long and they're straight, so I like to curl them out of the way. But you don't have to, but I just take my little curler. Everyone probably knows how to use one of these, so I'm just gonna quickly do this. because I am gonna put fake lashes on, and I also do this when I'm doing lashes because I feel like it blends them in better when I put the strip on. That way you don't look like you have two like rows of lashes, which is kind of crazy. Maybe you like that look, and that's okay too. All right, so I got these babies curled up out of my eyes. And I'll put on my favorite mascara first. If you're going to use fake lashes, put your mascara on first, and always curl before your mascara. If you put mascara on and then curl your lashes, you will rip your lashes out. Good chance of it, at least. Don't ever do it in that order. So curl first with a nice clean curler, and then put on a coat or two of your favorite mascara. I love this one. It's Urban Decay. It's called Perversion. Bigger, blacker, badder. I did not buy it because it's named that, but it does work really well. It's just a crazy name. But yes, wonderful. Has a really great brush, like the bristles are all nice and packed in. It really gets in everywhere. And it doesn't cause fallout all over my face, which I feel like a lot of mascaras do. I really hate that. And I know there's a lot of really cool mascaras out there in the market. They're like fiber mascaras and ones that make your lashes look longer. And those are all great. I think those are wonderful. When you're using them, just make sure, I see a lot of after pictures where like, oh, look at my lashes, they're so long, but they look like spider legs. It's gross. So I'll show you how to not get that. Because those mascaras are wonderful, but you gotta wear them right. So I'm just gently wiggling this on my lower lashes. I have a lot of lower lashes. So if you get a little bit under your eye, no problem. Just let it dry first. Don't go right after it or you're gonna mess all that work up and it's a lot harder to fix. So let it dry, take your baby wipe and then just gently clean it off. And then you can like take your pressed powder and just kind of go along it and put that color back on there or whatnot. It's pretty easy. So I put my mascara on and I let this dry for about a minute or so. Because right now, like, it does look kind of crazy. I don't like that little chunk right there. Ew. That's why I love the look of extensions or strip lashes. They're just so seamless and so pretty. I just love them. All right, so once that is dry, actually, while that's drying, I'll show you another little thing I like to do under my eyes once in a while. I'll take my little brush that comes with my eyeshadow, and I like take that light color, and then I just like to put a little bit under my eyes. It just really frames them. It's really pretty. And you can't go wrong with this. Like, you cannot make a mistake. So don't be afraid to get a little bit too much because you can blend it out. It's not a big deal at all. And then I'll take one of my two darker colors or mix them and then just drag a little bit on that bottom corner. And it really finishes your eyes. I just love that look. Okay, and then as long as this mascara is dry, you can take your fluffy brush and just kind of make sure there's no harsh lines where you just put that shadow on, but it's really pretty. Okay, so then once my mascara is basically dry, I'll just take a little spoolie brush and then just brush through it. Don't just leave it and go. Like, let it dry for a minute and then brush them out a little bit because you don't want chunkies in there and you don't want them sticking together. It just makes them look better. And I guess they're not fully dry. They're still a little tacky, which I guess is the best way. That way you kind of manipulate them still a little bit before the mascara dries too much. Okay, so now they're pretty ready. And I could go like this, but I love lashes, so I'm gonna add some. So I have been doing strip lashes for about a year. I had to give up my extensions because I got really busy with work. I didn't really have as much time to go in and get my own done. I love putting lashes on ladies. It's so fun. It's my passion now. But, and they just weren't working for me anymore. One of my eyes just was not holding them on anymore. I don't know if it was the way I was sleeping or what, but I don't know. These kids are gonna be the death of me. Send help. Okay. So, lashes. All right, so I have been selling these magnetic lashes. They cannot keep these on the shelf. They're so popular. We've actually been out of them for like a week and we're finally getting some in. They have actually a new lash style coming out today, which I'm really excited about because it's really dramatic and I love it. Only drama I love in my life is in my lashes. Okay, so these lashes are really cool because you can either, they come with these little anchors. They're just little tiny lashes with magnets on them that you can stick the lashes on with outliner, or the easiest way is the magnetic liner. Now, this does not have magnets in it. I've had a lot of questions about magnets being in the liner. There's no magnets in here. It actually contains iron oxides in it. So iron oxides are in most of your cosmetics, and they're also in the pigments that I use when I do microblading and brows. So it's very safe for the skin. Yeah, so that's what it sticks to. And there's magnets on the lashes, and they're very tiny, but they're very powerful. So this comes in 3 colors. It's black, brown, or gray. I have the black. The important thing with this liner is you don't want it to get chunky. So you just pull it straight out, and you don't want to wipe it on the sides if you have too much. There's a little bit much on there, but if you have a little much, you can just wipe it on your finger. I'm just gonna go with it. So usually I don't put this top layer on, I'll just use this, but I wanted to show you guys how I use a pencil. So I'm gonna go over the top of what I already did. All right, let me adjust my mirror so I can see and show you at the same time. So I like to start kind of back a little bit because like I said, there's a little extra on my brush. And if I put it on the front, it's gonna glob there and it's not gonna look good. You can spread it better if it's from about 1/3 of the way in. Just put a little layer across. And once you get the bulk of it kind of spread across back to your crease or your corner of your eye, you can then kind of go in the corner and gently just put a little line in there because you don't have as much on your brush at this point. Like that. And then you'll dip again, being careful not to wipe on the sides. I mean, you can clean it out and stuff, but it's just easier if you try to avoid that. Got a little on my lashes there, that's okay. All right, then you just, again, the other eye. Sorry, I'm trying to stay in the camera view. Go across. And then get the inner corner last. All right, and then we wait about a minute. You can do like 30 seconds sometimes too, but I wait about a minute. Don't sneeze. Don't open your eyes in surprise. Just kind of let them hang there for about a minute, let it dry, and then put one more layer of that on. So I will be back after this is dry. All right, I'm back. I put on my second layer of the eyeliner and everything is nice and dry now. So you wanna put your first layer on, let it dry for about a minute, put your next layer on, let it dry for about 2 minutes or so. I'll typically mix putting in the eyeliner throughout the steps of doing my makeup. That way I'm not sitting there at the end and waiting for my eyeliner to dry. So again, multitasking, but I just wanted to break things down into steps for you. Okay, so if my gray hairs have been showing this whole time, quarantine. Okay, so these lashes are really beautiful. These ones are Ladies Night. They're one of the kind of, I'm a little more dramatic lashes. Not terribly dramatic. I've got bigger ones. But okay, so you can see these lashes have little tiny magnets on them. And you basically, all you do, I'm trying to get it so you can see, is match it up and it pops right on. And that's it. That's it. It's that easy. It's so much easier than glue. Before you'd have to take the strip lash off, put the glue on. Sometimes the glue would run down the lash. You'd have to clean it out. Sometimes you'd ruin the lashes. And then you have to sit, and then you have to wait for it to get tacky. It has to be just the right enough tacky so it'll stick to your eye, because if it's too wet, it's not gonna stick. So that sounds like a lot. Isn't that crazy? Like, I just sounded crazy there, but that's how crazy it is. So these, you put the liner on and your lashes snap right on the top. Like, how easy is that? It's that easy, honestly. With my eye shape, like I mentioned earlier, I do have a little bit of a harder time with one of my eyes getting lashes to look the same on both. I think they still look pretty okay. But I like to use the anchors. I like to use liners and anchors just because it gives you a little extra hold. You don't have to. But with my eye shape, if I don't put an anchor on the inner corners, after a few hours, they do start to lift just a little bit. It's not terrible, but it's enough to drive me crazy because I'm a perfectionist. So I want to show you how to use the anchors because they're super easy. I purchased the little plastic tweezers too because they're a lot easier. They're not metal, and the magnets don't try to stick to them. So these are only $10. It's so worth it to add them on. But you just grab one of the little anchors. I know I'm looking in all different directions. My camera's over here, but I don't know. It's just whatever. Anyways, you grab by the lashes, and there's like a curve to it. Let's see if I can make it so you can see that. There's like a curve to it right there. And you want that curve to go up because they're lashes. So it's curving up, and all you do is just go underneath your lashes, like sandwiching them together. And then it just will grab on like that. That's it. It just grabs it on and holds it on a little bit extra for you. I mean, you can be in a windstorm and these babies will stay on, especially with these anchors. They really, really, like, that's it. They find each other. They just meet up like that. So it's really that simple. And sometimes I'll do one like in the middle and then the ends too. But a lot of times I just need them in the inner corners just for everyday use, just for that little extra hold. But again, some people don't even use them at all. And that's cool. You'll notice I didn't do anything with lips. I'm not really a lipstick girl. Pretty simple that way. Pretty much the only simple thing about my makeup routine. I love chapstick. Lipstick's easy anyways. We all know how to do that. So, but I do like to highlight above my lip like I showed you before with that little bronzer, and it just looks really pretty. All right, so this is my makeup routine. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, if I confused you, look at my bed head, just message me. Let me know. I'll try to kind of walk you through things. I did this as a kind of a thank you. This is usually like a $100 service that I offer for people to come in, and I'll sit with them and do makeup with them. But I just want to do some kind of thank you because you've all been so patient with me. We're so excited to open and see you all in July. It's going to look a little bit different. We're all going to be in masks. We're not going to be able to hug, which it's going to kill us because Lindsay and I are both huggers. And by the way, hi Lindsay, I miss you so much. We have some exciting things coming to our salon, our spa, even though we've been closed. We've been really lucky. This little lash biz has helped me keep afloat. So thank you to everyone who's been purchasing, and so many of you have loved them so much. I know I do. I try things before I promote them to people, and I really, really love this product line. And so yeah, we miss you. This video is my thank you to you. It's a little free service, a makeup lesson, if you will. And again, take the pieces that speak to you, that work for you. If you just want to do eyes, hey, do it. If you just wanted to know how to fill in your brows, there you go. If you really wanted to know how to contour, now you know. It's really, really simple. Don't make it any harder. Just blend, 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 and that's it. I hope everyone stays safe. I miss and love you all, and I cannot wait to see you again. Bye.